It's Virtual NAMM 2021 at Geekazine.com. Continuing coverage, NAMM 2021. Jeffrey Powers here. We're here with Nason. Did I say it right?
You did.
Nason. And you're here with Here Technologies. Tell people your role at Here Technologies, and then, of course, the product that we're going to be talking about.
So I am the senior design engineer at Here Technologies. My role is basically creating new products from concept all the way to market. So I have to, take a look at the market to see what's out there when we come up with a new idea and see if it's something that's going to work, and then start building hand prototypes, testing them, go through all the different iterations, making changes, things like that, laying out the circuit boards, picking the components, doing the beta testing with musicians, and basically everything to even setting it up with the factory and making sure that they have all the testing procedures and things like that. So it's
a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. And you have the thing. It's called a switchback. Is it M8RX or is it like M8RX? Like with cars or something like that.
Matrix.
Oh, Matrix.
That's
okay.
What we were going for.
I'm thinking Mater from Cars. So, but Matrix, that makes sense. So, what is Matrix?
So we ended up giving this guy, this is it right here. And in fact, I'm using it right now to power my microphone and send the audio to my laptop over Dante. And then my laptop is running Dante virtual sound card. So the audio is coming in here. It's streaming out over the Ethernet and going into my computer. And what you're hearing is what's coming through this box. So most people know us with the original product that we had come out with, which was the Hearback, and then the Hearback Pro, the Hearback Octo. These were all personal headphone monitor mixers. Well, when we came out with this idea, we decided it needed a different name because it's not just a headphone monitor mixer. It's also a interface. You've got a couple of really high quality mic preamps there. One of them, which I'm using, and a stereo unbalanced line input. So there's a total of 4 channels coming in. Those can be mixed locally to your headphones using the tips of these knobs. And you've got a master volume, and there is a 5-watt combined left and right, basically 2.5 watts per channel, going into your headphones. A very powerful headphone amplifier. And then those same inputs that you can mix locally are also sent out over Dante. So those are available on any Dante equipped device, including a computer like I'm using with the virtual sound card. And that requires no additional equipment. That's basically just coming straight into the laptop sound card or into the Ethernet port, and it shows up as a sound card to the computer. So you can use it really with any application you like. And then coming back over Dante, you've got 4 channels. So these are kind of like your foldback mix. You've got
to raise it up a little bit.
That's right.
No, you need to raise it up a little bit in the camera.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So you basically have these concentric knobs, and you've got a mono channel, both local microphone input as well as a Dante return, another mono local, which is another mic preamp, and then another Dante return. And then you've got this knob down here, C, which is a stereo. So you've got a unbalanced 1/8-inch stereo input, and then you've got a stereo Dante return. So that's really good. If you're doing something with like a band mix, then that would kind of be the idea there is you'd put your overall mix on that Dante return. But then you would have maybe like the click track would be on one of these guys, and then maybe something else that you're really keen off of, like the bass guitar, the kick drum, something like that on one of these other monos. And then, of course, your local microphone for doing vocals or guitar. These inputs also have a 1/4-inch input, so you could take a guitar, keyboard, something like that, and come in line level as well.
Are those dials assignable somehow, or how do they work?
So these guys are just fixed for your headphones. So one thing to mention is, like, if you make any changes here, it's not going to change what's going out over Dante. Now, as far as what's assignable to the Dante, yes. That is something that you would do using the Dante controller software, which basically, if you're familiar with it, it's just a big matrix. So you can basically choose, from any device and then just put a check mark as far as, what you want to route to that knob. So basically anything that's in Dante world can be routed to that knob, and then anything else from Dante world could be routed to that knob. They can come from different devices.
Okay. That's very interesting, because I could see it as in for a band. Perfect example. You could have the lead guitar singer. You have his microphone in A, and then guitar plugged into B, and then that would then route through Dante into a Dante-enabled mixer, and then they could have an in-ear type mix come back to them. And you even do you have like a belt pack or something like that for this thing, or how does that work?
Yeah. So actually, this thing, we were trying to keep it small enough when we designed it so that it could be just worn on the belt. So there's a little brass piece down here, and this is a standard camera tripod thread. So you can use this to mount onto. We actually have a little adapter that'll convert that to a mic thread. So you could go onto a mic stand with it, or we have a screw and a little metal clip that mount into that same brass thread, and it's a belt clip, so that you can just clip this on your belt if that makes sense. Or it's actually got little rubber feet too, so this can just sit onto a stand, onto a desk.
Okay, how is it powered?
So it's powered over power over Ethernet. So it's getting the power and the Dante over the single Cat 5e or Cat 6 cable. And right now, I'm actually using our own little network switch that we have. This is actually designed originally for the Hearback Pro system, which is our much larger headphone monitoring system that can do up to 128 channels. And it's got 8 ports, and those are PoE plus ports. So this is something that we sell that, if you're doing a bunch of these matrix interfaces, this would probably be a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
But it's nothing special. It's just a gigabit network switch. You could use a Cisco or something else that's
anything with PoE. If I didn't have a PoE switch, I'd have to get like a converter cable or something like that to power it.
Yeah, so we actually said, that's something we probably ought to sell people because for sure, like podcasters, you might only use one of these things, and you don't really need to do like a whole network switch like that. It's kind of overkill. So we actually sell a little injector, and we don't have one here, do we, Max? Okay, no, we don't have one in this room, but basically it's real simple. It's a little cable that is a male RJ45 on one end and then a female RJ45 on the other end. And then it has a DC barrel connection that comes into it. So it's a little Y cable, and you plug in the power supply that comes with this. It's a little kit, and that's just a little wall wart that plugs in. And look at it like it's a phantom power supply, because it really kind of works about the same. So it's basically just injecting power over that same line. So you can use those if you like. Yeah,
anybody that's done PoE has probably seen those, because I know I have a few of them lying around myself for cameras that require PoE. Okay, so very interesting. The switchback matrix. It's so ultimately, how many channels can come in for you to listen to?
You basically can do up to 8 channels. So 4 of those are local, and then 4 of them are returns from Dante.
Okay, so for if you were doing a band thing, you could probably do vocals, drums, guitars, and then maybe an extra for a second vocal or something like that, or bass or something like that. And keys.
Every person can be different.
Yeah.
So what you get can be different from the next person. So.
Yeah. But the top ones, then I can adjust the top ones. Like, let's say my vocal that's coming into it, then I can adjust that so I can hear my vocals over the other instruments.
That's correct.
Okay. Wow.
And the best thing to do is have a console, especially if it's quite a few musicians. Have a console that's Dante equipped that you basically create a band mix that will come on the C knob, which is stereo, the ring there. And that way you get your full mix, and then you can put things that you need to maybe turn up a little bit more. I call them more me's. Those could go onto the mono channels. You can also do, if you're doing like maybe a 3-piece band, then you could do this without having a console, because you could just route from point to point. Like, you're maybe doing vocals, and I'm going to route your matrix to my A knob, and then somebody else is maybe doing stereo keyboards. I could route them to my C knob, which is a stereo, and then maybe the drummer or somebody else is going to be routed to my B knob.
Okay.
So and then basically everybody could be routed point to point to everybody else. So you could do kind of a little jam hub sort of setup with these up to about 3 people.
Okay. Are all of them? Are all inserts stereo or?
So they're just the C is the stereo.
Okay.
And the other 2 are mono. We kind of did that to give you the ability to do monos or stereos, and also to kind of keep the box small.
Yeah. And if you need a bigger box, you have those.
Yeah, we do. We have the Octo, and we've got the Pro system. So if somebody needs more than that. But one advantage to this over those, the Octo and the Pro, is the fact that it has the inputs. That is something we haven't done on the other systems that we have. So this is kind of a first for us, being both a headphone monitor mixer as well as a interface, having those mic pre's there.
Okay. So interesting stuff. Is it out now?
It is. We started actually shipping at the beginning of last year. And it was really cool, actually. Our first customer bought 90 of them. It was like, oh my gosh. And they were doing, they're going to be in the Guinness Book of Records for doing the largest live variety show in Australia. And Guinness Book of Records is worldwide, but it was in Australia. And they used 90 of these things for the orchestra. And so basically they all had the ability to monitor, and then they all had their microphones coming into the inputs. And they said, we hooked them all up. We wanted to do a burn in, and never had any problems with any of them. So I was like, yes.
So for a band, that shouldn't be a problem. You should just be able to plug it in and rock out or jazz out or whatever, and just move from there.
That's right. And one thing that we really have going for us is the amount of power that we have on our headphone amplifiers. When you compare to most of the other ones that are out there, they're typically in like the 100 to 250 milliwatt range per ear, left and then right. And we have always used a Burr Brown OPA 551 headphone circuit that is capable of doing up to 2.5 watts at 32 ohms. Okay. Now it's kind of a curve, so you're going to get that peak power at the 32 ohms. When you go down to 8 ohms, you're going to lose a little power. When you go up to about 600 ohms, you're going to be down at about 250 milliwatts. But that's still enough power to even push a pair of those 200 or 600 ohm headphones, and definitely enough power to even push, the 250 ohm or the 80 ohm headphones. So there's a lot of different headphones, especially the big studio cans. They're usually a lot of times higher impedance.
Yeah.
So this thing can push those all day long. Whereas I even had personal experience back when I had run a live sound company for about 15 years. And I had a pair of DT770. They were 250 ohm. And man, I plugged them into a console that I was using. I'm not going to name any names, but
okay.
I was like, there is no way that's what's coming out of my PA. This is not even like the same like tone quality. And I'd take it off and I was like, no way, what is going on? And later I realized, it's because, that headphone amp just couldn't really push that impedance. It was really struggling. So ours can, and you really don't need 2.5 watts of power to drive a pair of headphones, but it's there so that even if it's mismatched down to 8 ohms or up to 600 ohms, it can drive anything.
It's nice to have it. Absolutely. Let's talk price. You said it's available now. So how much does it cost?
So street price, we typically see these things go for about $450. I want to say I'm asking Max over here. I'm usually over here in the corner just doing the schematics and stuff. I don't get involved quite as much with the pricing, but I know we were kind of trying to hit that price point. And actually, that was one of the things we worked with Sweetwater, who's one of our really awesome distributors. And so they said, you really kind of want to get this thing, in this price range to really, hit the market hard. So he's over here looking it up on our price list, so I don't tell you wrong. That's $589 street price. Okay.
$589. Okay. Yeah,
that's why I'm not in charge of pricing.
Oh no, I get it. And then of course you have the Dante in there, which definitely will push up that price a little bit because so much Dante. Ways to go in and out of mixers and computers. It's just crazy. So. All right, so $589, and the name of the product is Matrix, the number 8 RX Matrix, not M8RX, but Matrix. And where do people go for more information?
So the best place is check out our website at heretechnologies.com. You can check out Sweetwater, B&H Photo. Pretty much all of the big box stores have it. You can also, check out our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. We're kind of on all of those as well. But
okay, cool. But heretechnologies.com is where you really want to start at. So
absolutely, and actually check out our YouTube too, because we just did several videos that we did specifically for the NAMM show, and we go through and walk through a demo of the Matrix. So that's probably worth your while to check out.
Okay, perfect. Well, Nason, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great NAMM from home, virtual-wise.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Yeah. It's worked, though. So far, so good. We're getting a pretty good response from people. So
that's awesome.
Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks a lot for watching this video by Geekazine. If you're over on geekazine.com or youtube.com/Geekazine, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. Until next time, you guys geek out and take care.